Oh, that's just marvelous coffee, just unbelievable. Same wonderful taste each time, and it's this is the Columbia roast from Organic Gold, and for your brew cup maker, I order these from this website right here, FEMARLLC dot organo ORGANO gold.com, and you just go. I just go on my computer there and just order it, and it's a couple days later, it's here, and sometimes I don't remember what I order because I just go on there and what looks good and what I'm in the mood for at that time I order, and I order several things at once, and sometimes they arrive at different times and all, and so I'm surprised when they come. But that just gives me something to be exhilarated about, among other things. And I've got this coffee mocha also that arrived not a few days ago that I've drank. I'm going to drink this later on this morning. It's still just a little cloudy. We're going to get some sunshine later today, but this chocolate will go real good with the nice cloudy weather, and we're getting just the right amount of rain though, and I'm just really enjoying it. And it's just like 65 degrees, and it stays 65, 70 all day. And how can you complain about that? I mean, you can just get out and run. When I go out and run, I just have such a enjoyable time. You don't have to worry about making sure you get it exactly the right time of the morning when it's exactly the coolest, like in the summertime. You got to make sure, boy. I mean, you don't want to wait till that sun gets up hardly before you start your running, or else you get overheated really quick. But now this is just marvelous. I can run in the mornings and I can run in the afternoons too, and get lots of good exercise. So I get a lot of running done and a lot of exercise. And so this is gourmet coffee mocha. It comes in these little packages like this, and it's just marvelous. And then I later on I'll have the Cafe Supreme, uh, and it comes in these little packages also, and they all have these nice, pretty little boxes. And I'll have that later on. This is just like a little. It's just like I had a sort of a malty vanilla flavor. That's just it just kind of goes with your mid morning, makes you feel just wonderful. And then of course I have these little black coffees here, and these packages that they come in are just portable packages. I mean, just they're small, but they're enough to make a black cup of coffee. It doesn't have to, since it doesn't have all the other cream and everything in it, and so you can use these to just put up in your shirt pocket and just keep them with you all the time. And then all you gotta do is find a little hot water, styrofoam cup or something, put a little hot water, put it in the microwave, and you're ready to go wherever you're at, your office or your gym or wherever you're at. And so that's another marvelous one. And then of evenings, I usually wait till the evenings. You can drink them any time of day, but I usually wait till the evenings, and when I relax down, watch a movie or something. Oh, I mean, it just makes the movie go well. And your last reading of your nice spiritual books that you read, and to lift you up in your consciousness as you begin to soar out across the universe. Well, then you can just sip on this, and it kind of goes with that. It makes you soar, and it has a nice relaxing a latte flavor, kind of like ice cream and coffee mixed together a little bit. But only it's warm. You can fix it cold, or it even tastes good cold if you drink it cold. But I like it that way with ice in it. It tastes good that way. I've tried it that way, and it tastes really good that way. But it tastes to relax down. It tastes good to be nice and warm and all. And so I have that later. And so I'm just stocked up with wonderful coffee, wonderful ideas, and wonderful everything, and wonderful Tanya Love's on there. And so we'll get back to her and let her raise my thoughts a little bit more, and see what she is going to excite me with this morning.
Go places that she has powerful opportunity to heal, and how uncomfortable that can be. And I feel like it was such a beautiful, honorable truth that she shared, and how vulnerable it was to speak that truth, that this is somewhere I've struggled, And this is something I see in myself that I know I need to shift. And it's really uncomfortable, but I'm ready to face it and I'm ready to heal it. And one of the things I was talking, I think last week or the week before, I was talking about how, and I think a few months ago, because this interestingly has been continuing, and I'm really in my own life movie looking into why is this continuing. But recently and a few months ago, I had some healers in the community like come towards me, try to attach to me, say that they sense they could get some kind of benefit from doing a healing with me, but then kind of deceived me with the intention of how they wanted to work together, and then it really ended up being about an agenda on their side to self-serve. And when I called them out on it and said, I'm not a part of that and I'm not going to be used like that, I wouldn't allow them to control my energy. Suddenly, I'm the outcast. And I've had recently, I say this publicly because I will not be bullied by people's misalignment. You may choose this. I kind of talked to my group last night. We were talking about clairvoyancy and empowering ourselves as empaths. And a lot of the women could relate to this in their own way of how they've been bullied at some time in their life when they spoke truth, they challenged someone who was out of alignment. And to me, I kind of joke and say it's very high school, like when you're in high school and maybe you don't want to do all the things the popular kids do and you just really are comfortable being who you are, and they heckle you, throw your backpack, they treat you crappy, they make fun of you, call you names, whatever. And what's kind of sad to me is that this happens so much in society, and I feel like it's worth addressing. And this need to, like when I say chasing nirvana, what I've observed is there's healers, there's spiritual beings who are students or healers, teachers. It doesn't matter what role we're in, what part of the play we're, acting out. But what ultimately matters is that we're present and that we're peaceful, that we're showing up with integrity, we're being authentic. And what's interesting is I had a woman come to me and warn me that she had started a group and she asked me to be a part of that group. It was like a healers circle on Facebook. And I was like, sure, that sounds awesome. I would love to connect with other healers. And I will be very clear, I would love to connect with other aligned healers is really my mantra, because unfortunately I've been shown they're not all aligned. And the reason I say this is like when I talked to my client today and she was talking about how things were tricky and they were uncomfortable to look at her own stuff. This can happen with some of the healers in our community. It could happen with the president. It could happen with the priests in a church. It could happen with the doctor. He's a surgeon. Everyone looks up to him and respects his opinion. And maybe he makes a wrong call. Maybe he's pissed off that day and he does something out of alignment. But now he can't own that. He can't actually honor and speak truth about it because he's been put on this pedestal and identifies himself in this way that he can't possibly allow others to realize he might have made a mistake. And the reason I say that is this is a really big problem in the spiritual world from what I observe. And in spiritual world, when I say that, I mean the world, because we're all spiritual beings. But in the spiritual community, as far as metaphysics is concerned, I observe this where if, let's say, you're a healer that is teaching some kind of, tantric sexuality, you're teaching about sexuality to others, but you have a lot of things you have to heal in yourself. You have a lot of sexual woundedness that you actually have to heal. Part of what I've observed is how important it is for that soul to heal themselves before they go and start teaching and projecting something to others. This is, of course, why there's so much misalignment in the world, because we get leaders who are out of alignment and they continue to tell others what to do from their misalignment.
That's right.
We see things in our education system, teachers that are not really living in their alignment and don't really maybe sometimes know what they're even talking about. And they're teaching it to students and telling them what to do. And they're not really, checking in to make sure they understand what they're teaching or that they're in their power. And I feel ultimately, until we can address this and we can come into our balance with this, we're going to create a lot of suffering. And if you're, for example, a a healer that is helping others and you're assisting others with healing, but you won't see that you actually have some healing that you need to do for yourself. Like, you won't see that there is some woundedness that's deep down that you need to heal, then ultimately you're going to project that on people. And when I work with girls who, and it's mostly girls, I could say men or women, but typically it's women and occasionally it's a man. But when I work with souls, let me be politically correct on that. When I work with other souls that are on the path and they have a desire to be a healer, one of the main things I look into to help them as a guide is, how authentic are you? Are you living in your power? Are you living with integrity? Are you speaking your truth? If, for example, you're not and you have stuff to heal and you harass other people who don't do something your way, and you try to lash out and scare people with your mean words, or you try to ostracize them in the community because they aren't bowing to you and kissing your butt, this is really out of alignment. And this could happen in any of our lives. Like, we could have a school teacher going through this. You could have a woman who's a therapist going through this. It could be a spiritual healer, like what the work I do that's going through this. It could be a baseball coach. It doesn't matter. But when there's misalignment and there's others that are bullying that person and they are out of alignment and they're in a place where they feel they're in a position of power and control, so then they try to get everyone else to believe in what they're saying, even if it's completely BS, ultimately you're going to cause your own suffering. You might temporarily trick a few people because, when this happened to me, I kind of laughed at it in a way because I was like, are you kidding me? This is like high school. But I laughed at it in a way because that's how I handle the insanity of humanity, is I have to have a freaking sense of humor. But part of it I looked into and I was just like, what is this about? Like, why do humans do this? And big picture, what I know in my own soul with certain souls that have responded in this way towards me is that I won't kiss their ass. I will not bow to them. I won't go and say, can I please follow you because everyone else says you're a leader? And even though you show me so many signs of woundedness and you show me that you have a lot of misalignment, I'm going to ignore all that. And I'm just going to blindly go ahead and have you lead me. This is what each of us needs to wake up to. And I won't do it. And because I won't do it, there is a consequence. There's often a consequence for a strong, focused soul that will not tolerate abuse. And that consequence can often be beautiful, where you rise and you have a beautiful experience and you only tolerate high vibrational beings that actually will show you honor.
Yeah.
And then the ones who want to disrespect you will insult you for that, call you, like one woman said I was like the queen bee, and you just think you're the queen bee, Tanya. I remember my ex-husband just saying, who do you think you are? You're so entitled. And I'm like, really? Is it entitled, or do I love myself? And do I tell you through my own actions that I will not tolerate your abuse? And there is a consequence, because when I chose that, let's go with the ex-husband, when I chose that and I chose to move away from him, he contacted all of my friends, all my family, trying to turn them against me, and was successful with a lot of them. But at a soul level, what I realize is whoever's meant to be in my life and whoever really sees me, whoever really has honor, they will be there and they will pay attention. Like, I had some clients when this misaligned healer started contacting my clients and trying to turn them against me. Luckily, my clients, many of them are so aware, and who knows, maybe some of them got contacted and I don't even know about it because they turned and I have no clue about that. But the ones that contacted me were like, Tanya, this person's saying this and it really feels out of alignment to me. But I basically told this person that what feels out of alignment is the way you're doing this. You're sneaking behind Tanya's back and you're contacting me. You're trying to make me afraid of her. That feels really off to me. And maybe you need to contact Tanya and talk to her directly. Several people told this person that. And that to me was refreshing, because I was like, wow, these clients, these souls that I care for so much, they're really paying attention. They are actually practicing everything that I actually taught them, that Spirit brought them into my life for, which was to learn discernment. And so each of us have our tests. And I really look at it as a beautiful perfection to the dance, where I am not here to save everybody. I'm not